Don't forget to tune in to our NALI 2020 closing ceremony live at our Facebook page of NALI 2020 on the 10th of December at 3:30 p.m. as we will announce the Gold STEM Made Award, People's Choice Award, Gold Medal for NALI 2020 exhibition and competition, as well as the top 3 finalists and the winner of NALI 2020 award. Now, we will all see you there, and do enjoy our exhibition, symposium, keynote, plenary and workshop videos till then, available at our NALI 2020 Facebook page.
Welcome to NALI 2020.
NALI 2020.
NALI 2020.
NALI 2020 Cenggini.
NALI 2020. NALI 2020.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and greetings to the distinguished guests, exhibitors, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my greatest pleasure to welcome all of you to this forum, which is organized in conjunction with NALI 2020. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Mahani and I'm going to be your moderator for today's forum. Today, we have three distinguished guests as our forum panelists for NALI 2020. Now, let me introduce you to our first panelist, Associate Professor Insinyur Dr. Hayati Abdullah, whose credibility in the world of engineering and academia needs no introduction. She has a long list of professional and academic achievements, such as being the first lady engineer to hold the position of the chairman of Southern Branch Institution of Engineers, Malaysia. She was also the recipient of the REM Woman Engineer Award in 2015 and the first recipient from UTM to have the honor of receiving the prestigious National Award Anugerah Akademik Negara in the category of Pengajaran Kejuruteraan in 2010. She was also the former chairman of the Malaysian Higher Education Teaching and Learning Council, Magnetic. So welcome Associate Professor Insinyur Dr. Hayati to our forum.
Thank you, Dr. Mahani.
Our second panelist is Cikgu Yasmin Nurul Amin. She is an excellent chemistry teacher at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan LaSalle Petaling Jaya. She was the first Malaysian and first Southeast Asian school teacher to be nominated for the Global Teacher Prize in 2015. Although she did not win, she was shortlisted as a top 50 finalist in the world. She's known for unconventional methods that keep students engaged, such as her flag challenge hiking activities, where she and her students hikes various hills, mountains, and even caves. Siesta activities to re-energize classrooms and referencing pop culture for science examples. She even won the Brian Lara Sports Prize in 2017 that led her and her students to successfully pick Mount Kinabalu. She has been awarded with the Selangor STEM Icon Teacher Award in 2018. In 2019, she was awarded with United Nations MBPJ Award for the category of SDG 4 Quality Education. She conducts her lesson based on the concept hands-on first and explain later. She's currently using Discord and Microsoft Teams to conduct her online classes. Therefore, with all those achievements, she is definitely a 25th century teaching icon. Welcome Cikgu Yasmin to our forum.
Thank you, Doctor.
Last but not least, we also have Mr. Safwan Syari, a UTM alumni who is currently working as Town and Country Planning Officer at Iskandar Puteri City Council. He's currently the head of Sustainability and Research Unit Planning Development Department for Iskandar Puteri City Council. Mr. Safwan Syari has been involved in numerous communities and industrial projects in promoting and supporting voluntary actions to combat climate change and move to a low carbon society and climate resilient future with IRDA, JPNJ, UTM, University of Reading, MMU, Econite, Buddhist Zoo Sea Merit Society Malaysia, Think City, SEDA, UNDP Malaysia, and also Global Governance of Mayors for Climate and Energy under European Union. He has also participated in producing an infographic book, Sayangi Sungai Skudai Puteri 2020, together with UTM FABU and FSSH lecturers and students. He's currently involved in a research for Rancangan Kawasan Khas Sungai Skudai, Forest City Planning Design Guideline, and other planning guidelines. He has been implementing their climate action document together with strategic partners, the Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025, Rejuvenation Plan for Sungai Skudai, and localizing SDGs in Iskandar Puteri areas. Welcome, Mr. Safwan, to our forum.
Thank you, Dr. Mahali.
Okay, therefore, with three amazing panelists who are experts in the topic which are going to discuss today, I'm sure we will have a very engaging and fruitful forum. Ladies and gentlemen, bridging gaps, building communities, this is the topic for today's forum. I believe this topic is related to the theme of NALI 2020, which is Future Ready Educators, since there is a need for educators to be able to serve not just in the confine of the academic institutions, but also to the communities as well. Ultimately, it is hoped that future-ready educators will produce future-ready communities whom will ensure sustainable and prosperous future for all Malaysians. For your information, this forum is divided into 2 rounds, whereby the main issue which will be discussed in the first round is what are the roles of educators in building future-ready communities? And the main issue in the second round is challenges in the efforts to bridge the gaps between academic institutions and communities. After each round, I will allow 5 minutes for question and answer sessions from audience. You're welcome to post your questions or feedback in our FB Live, and we will collect questions from FB Live during the Q&A session. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us start with the first round. Okay, we'll start with Associate Professor Insinyur Dr. Hayati. So in your opinion, what are the roles of university lecturers in building future-ready communities? Pass to you, Professor Insinyur Dr. Hayati.
Yeah, thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Mahani. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Encik Safwan, to Cikgu Yasmin, and to everyone who's tuned in to NALI 2020 this morning. Yeah. So, what are the roles of university lecturers in building future-ready communities? Well, the obvious answer would be in research and development. Yeah, there is so much we can do in terms of R&D to build future-ready communities. But this is NALI, and our focus is on teaching and learning. So I'm going to take the road less traveled and answer your question, Dr. Mahani, from a teaching and learning perspective. Yeah. So let me start first with what I see as future-ready communities. Yeah. I view future-ready communities as communities that would be ready to go through disruption and transformation. Yeah. Disruption is now the new normal, and the year 2020 is a testimony of this. Disruption can be in the form of digital technology disruption with the introduction of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, IoT, robotics, etc. Disruption can be in the form of environmental disruption, such as the water pollution, which is a serious matter now, especially in Selangor. Yeah. And it could also be in the form of global pandemics, as the one that we are facing right now. So these are all disruptions that communities will go through in the near future, and which are realities of life. Yeah? But the challenge lies in the transformation of this disruption into opportunities. So what roles can we play as university lecturers to enable communities to be prepared for the expected, ready for the unexpected, and ready to adapt or transform? And these are the attributes of future-ready communities. One thing for sure, we will need to do things differently. Our students are the future workforce, and we are building the workforce for the future. And these graduates will be part of the community they work or live in. We therefore need to educate future-ready workforce for future-ready communities. I believe the universities in Malaysia are well on the way to do just that. The Ministry of Higher Education has introduced the future-ready curriculum to be in place in the universities. In fact, in our workshop yesterday, I'm not sure whether Dr. Mahani attended our workshop yesterday, where Associate Professor Dr. Sharifah Ruzaina shared with us on how to design future-ready curriculum. Now, with the future-ready curriculum, the lecturers will need to do things differently. They need to deliver the content differently and assess students differently. But they also need to connect the students with the community and industry if the learning is to be experiential and meaningful. This connection can be manifested in the courses that the students take. Therefore, the role of the lecturers is to be the bridge that connects the students to the communities as well as the industries. So how do they do that? The Malaysian Higher Education Teaching and Learning Council, or MAGNETIC, has published a book on high impact educational practices, or HIPS. I believe Dr. Mahani is familiar with HIPS, yeah? In fact, they are actually in the process of publishing a second edition of the HIPS book. And interestingly, the NALI framework in UTM also has HIPS in it. There are a number of approaches outlined in HIPS that focuses on service and community-based learning. In fact, the ministry has also launched the SULAM, or Service Learning Malaysia University for Society initiative. Basically what SULAM is, it enables students to contribute to the community by applying knowledge and skills learned in the classroom to help solve local problems. I believe Encik Safwan has also been extensively involved in some of these courses or projects, community-based project with university lecturers. And I hope Encik Safwan can elaborate later and share with us more on his experience, working with UTM lecturers. So apart from being the bridge to connect the students with the industry, with the community, the lecturers themselves need to be role models for students to emulate, especially in the aspect of volunteering work. This is another area that is seldom highlighted. Volunteering work. It helps in the development of personal skills. In my experience doing volunteering work with IEM, I feel that contributing back to society and the institution plays a big part in shaping the destiny, both for ourselves and others. So with that note, Dr. Mahani, back to you.
Yeah, Prof, that was a very insightful input on the question on the roles of university lecturers in building future-ready communities. I totally agree with you, Prof. I believe, as one of the advocates of NALI, teaching and learning strategies, I believe learning cannot be in isolation, cannot be in the confine of campus only. In order for us lecturers to inculcate or to promote not just technical skills but also generic skills to our students, so that when they graduate, they will become future-ready communities, right? Okay, so now we'll go to another panelist, who is Cikgu Yasmin. So I would like an input from school teachers. How can school teachers develop skills and talents of students towards becoming future-ready communities? I pass to you, Yasmin.
Thank you, Dr. Mahani. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Prof. Hayati, Encik Safwan, okay, and also to all the audience, okay, because I have my friends, my students are watching us right now. Okay, so I believe that the strongest word of the day that I would like to give to everyone is the word empowerment. And with that, I think we can have a background, like a background play of what my students have been doing, because I believe that everyone have not probably seen 15-year-old in action for such a long time. Okay, and this video was taken back in September, I think, just before the pandemic closed down or shut down our schools. So I will share my screen in a while. Okay, so I think everyone can see, right now?
Yep, Cikgu Yasmin, we can see it.
Okay. So this is a video of my students. Now, I have been teaching chemistry and science, okay, for the past 18 years. But this is in my science class, okay. And my boys at work, okay, there's no sound to this, but you can see that, okay, the topic that I empowered them for the day is about power stations. So if you look at what they were doing, they were actually building power stations. Now, I could just teach the topic dryly, okay, like just tell them, okay, this is the nuclear power station, this is hydroelectric power station, and whatnot. But what I did, I just asked them to look at their textbook, bring materials, scrap materials, and ask them to construct two power stations that they think they can build. So after a collective discussion with the students, so the students chose hydroelectric power station and also a simple generator. So we can see that the students are empowered to build a power station. Now, why would I do that? Because I could just teach science just like that, just tell them. But I wanted them to know, this is the basis of getting them future ready, because they need to know how things work. They need to see it from a bigger picture. So and while they're doing that, they are enjoying it. Okay, and I would like to give another example, okay, of my student. So when I was teaching about minerals, also to my 15-year-old, my Form 3 students, so I told them, okay, why don't they come up with an idea of a prototype of mineral? I could just teach them dryly, okay, minerals, you can dig up from earth, and there's tons of minerals, okay, you can read from online or whatsoever. No, I didn't do that. So my student here, Daniel Afif, what he did was he actually made it possible. He actually made the the prototype, okay, with his father. So the idea is there, and he basically come up with all these ideas, about his prototypes, and these are all coming from a 15-year-old. So the way we teach has to be changed. We need to make sure that students are future ready. How? We have to make sure that they know that their world is not just confined to Petaling Jaya, because we are in Petaling Jaya. Their world is not just confined to Malaysia. Yeah, they need to venture out. Okay, so yeah, you see, this is his prototype. He can even draw this on his own, and I know that he didn't get help to actually do all this. 15-year-old, are doing this, and he even talked about how he's going to sell his product. So this is really wonderful, because students basically, if we don't empower them, from where would they get the idea of doing all this? Are we going to wait until they're 18-year-old, and then after that, I always have this idea, because until 17-year-old, they always ask to ask permission to go to the toilet even, but suddenly at 18-year-old, after SPM, you're asked to make decisions for yourself, like choose the subject or the course that you want to do in university. But if we are giving them the empowerment at the age of 18, okay, this is where we have students who has lack of confidence, and students who don't know what to do, and even if they get all straight A's in SPM, they falter in university, and then the support is is not that extensive. So I believe that the empowerment has to start super young. So even though I start at 15, I believe that my students have been empowered early on. So I actually taught this class of my Form 3 since Form 1. So I could see their progress, from the students who cannot speak in English. Now they speak fluently. They have a dictionary. By the time I'm old school, they have to hold their dictionary. But I believe that the strongest word of the day today is empowerment. You have to empower your students. You have to believe in them, and then only we can talk about getting them, to be future ready, getting them to go outside, to face the world, in whatsoever field. So back to you, Dr. Mahani.
Thank you, Cikgu Yasmin. That was a very nice sharing of what you did with your students, and they were only 15. It shows that we can develop teachers. We can develop students' creativity only if we diversify our teaching and learning methods, so that students will have the chance to be empowered on what they want to do, or to explore their own creativity and critical thinking, isn't it, Cikgu Yasmin?
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Cikgu. Okay, now we go to Encik Safwan. Now, from the stakeholders point of view, Encik Safwan, what are the expectations of stakeholders towards educational institutions in Malaysia in producing future-ready communities?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much to moderator. First of all, I would like to give gratitude to Nali team because inviting me into this session, and it's been an honor actually to be part of this forum among the other distinguished panelists. So regarding to the question, I will elaborate more detail about this in perspective of the local authority. As we know that since 2018, there's a lot of collaboration between MBIP and educational institution, especially UTM itself. So what we did is focusing on promoting and supporting a voluntary action to fight the climate change and be more resilient for a better place to live, especially in urban area. So that's how we start. And starting this year, we start to promote about SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, to our community also, especially in Iskandar Puteri. So as for now, around 11,661 people in MBIP have been involved within 3 years of this collaboration between MBIP and UTM itself. So back to the question, for me, sustainable is the key. So means that to create a sustainable city, it's formed by a sustainable community itself. Of course, future communities come from the student from highest educational institution. So students must be talk about the sustainability in every aspect, especially on the concept, principle, criteria, and even element. And students also should be exposed during the year in campus. Sustainable project or program, they should join as a participant or committee and all these things, and then merging with the subject initiated by the lecture itself. So this is very important actually to develop the habit of practice in their life as a student. And then while I was studying in UTM, also flashback when I was in UTM during 2011 till 2015, I was also very involved with the program like this, and it shaped me today actually. So what I learned in terms of the skill, I know how to deal with the people when I have event or program need to go to the community. I have this kind of skill, and then we can engage with the community, have a discussion with them, what the problem and issue and this thing, and then convince the stakeholder also to join on board. And then in terms of the knowledge, to merge the sustainability with my current work, actually, there's a lot of info I gather from when I was in UTM also, and the value in terms of networking. So if we need to do something, so we need have a strong team, especially that's why when I'm doing a project in MBIP, I'm also go to UTM, meeting a lot of lecturers, asking if they are willing to help or willing to collaborate together. And another thing is giving them the opportunity deal with the real issue and problem outside. When I was in UTM, we did a project, but still in the campus. So we don't have a chance to go outside to face a real community there, and then to listen to the problem and everything. And then the negotiation session with the community on the ground is very important. And then it's actually good for them to sustain and get the continuous input when they engage with the community itself, based on what I learned. So early 2018 is the starting point when we engage with the educational institution, especially lecturer and student. We start with our project Sungai Skudai Rejuvenation Plans to deal with the uncontrolled pollution in our area, rapidly development in the environment, and to provide a new open space along the river. So with that project also, we create one program that involves students, which is we name it as a Sungai Skudai Public Space Design Competition. So during the competition, almost 10 public university joined us, 87 group of students in total, around 330 students have involved in that. They only not win the competition, but also they learn about the morphology of the Sungai Skudai itself, how to detect what kinds of the pollution, mapping the pollution point and all this thing. So they do the site survey, like taking picture, video, and even do the sketches along the river. They have opportunity to interview the community along the river. What was the community looking for? And after that, when they go back to campus, they propose an idea for future planning to the Sungai Skudai, and then we gather all the data and idea from them to design and going to build a recreational area along Sungai Skudai. Is going to kick off soon. So this is kind of the input. For me, this based learning will give an opportunity for students to practice what they learn in classroom into a real world. So those opportunities just train them to be sustained citizen in the future. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Safwan, for your sharing on your sharing of experiences in terms of your engagement with educational institutions, for example, in UTM and also schools around Johor Bahru. So I totally agree with you that this active engagement of students through what you said just now, where they had the opportunity to sketch, they had the opportunity to express their ideas, definitely will make the students engage with the people around them. So their world, especially if you talk about students, whereby at that age most of their time are only among friends and teachers and families, right? So with these activities where teachers engage with local councils, so students will have the opportunity to go out from schools to meet people of different backgrounds. And I also agree that these learning activities also definitely significant to our university students, isn't it, PM Hayati?
Oh, I so totally agree with you. And Dr.
Yeah,
Mahani,
because-
I wish to congratulate Encik Safwan
Yeah.
and MBIP for the Skudai project. Yes, Sungai Skudai project.
Yes.
It's a very, very impactful project. So congratulations, Encik Safwan.
Yeah,
Thank
because definitely not all students have the opportunity to really mix around with people around them, isn't it? So if we give them that opportunity through our curriculum, through what we teach to them in schools and university, of course, our future generation will definitely be future ready communities, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about giving meaningful, and experiential learning to the students. Those are really important, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much to all panelists for the interesting thoughts on the first main issue of this forum. Now we have come to the end of the first round. However, it's not the end of the forum yet. Stay with us. Don't leave the forum. So now I will open the forum to answer questions from the audience. Okay. So to those who are listening to us or to those who are watching to us, you are welcome to post your questions or any feedback. If anything that you want to ask our panelists, you want them to explain further on their activities, on their experiences, then you can do so. Okay, we have one from Kasvini Munyandi. Hi, Kasvini. Thank you very much for watching. Have any of you considered incorporating participatory budgeting to increase practical problem-solving skills in a democratic setting? Okay, so it's about incorporating participatory budgeting to increase practical problem-solving skills in a democratic setting. Mr. Safwan, do you have any experience in that when you organize the activities with the universities or with other communities?
Yeah, maybe I can share a little bit what we did.
Yeah.
We have quite a few programs actually. So most of the program normally we do the matching grant like MBIP. We can provide in-kind budget in terms of the food, in terms of everything, food and printing and all this thing. And then we also have industry who can pump another budgeting. And then we also can even apply a grant for governmental institution that provide to us. And then UTM also come out with a new sum budget to highlight about that project. So it means that it gives more impactful. And then in terms of solving the skill of student itself, I believe that it's not only MBIP provide the budget, but all of it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Safwan, because this kind of like participatory budgeting also give those involved to really contribute, right, towards the programs or the activities. So not just from, let's say, the city council only. PM Hayati, maybe you want to share your experience during that, maybe one of your activities where you get sponsorship or financial support from other.
Okay, that will bring us to the second round already.
Okay,
But anyway,
sure.
yeah, because I think that is one challenge. Yeah, one challenge
Okay.
is to
Okay, so it's okay.
get resource of funding. Okay.
It's okay. We will elaborate further.
Yeah,
Kashmini.
we'll elaborate in the next
So
session.
so I hope
someone has shared a very, very good solution.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Kashmini, we will elaborate further on funding later in our second round. Hope you will stay on with us. We have maybe we can allocate time for one more question from the audience.
Dr. Mahani?
Yes.
Maybe I can I make a comment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Cikgu Yasmin's presentation just now, I mean, I was so impressed with her empowerment concept. Yeah, very, very impressed. Only thing is, why it strikes me, because when you talk about the power station, because I teach thermodynamics, and I teach.
Yeah, I'm sure Prof. Hayati are going to comment on that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna.
I
I would just like to suggest, now that you've given this, you use this empowerment in your classroom to the students, can you take it to the next level? Make it inspirational. How about bringing in a real power plant engineer to meet your students?
Yeah.
That would be superb and wonderful.
That power plant engineer, maybe from TMB, he's got his name with TMB on his jacket, and he's wearing the hard hat. And he wears the hard hat. He lets the student try on his hard hat. I tell you, that will be inspirational. So that's just Cikgu Yasmin,
that's a great suggestion. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Cikgu Yasmin can get the contacts from Prof. Hayati after this. and the students can do role play also, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
They've been doing that actually since Form 1. That's why when I started, actually my concern was the number of science students in my school is like going down, and I see that it's like its own pandemic on its own. So because I've been involved with a lot of program with the National Science Center under Dr. Ihsan, so I felt that I need to talk to my principal at that time that, okay, can I teach the Form 1? I said, just give me one class. Just give me one. I want to see, what are the syllabus like, and how can I empower the students so that when they come to Form 4 and Form 5, it'll be like, a full circle. So it's like, it's not like my baby, but they are like my baby. So when I started with them, I realized that their English, their pronunciation, their self-confidence. So it's not about science. It's about everything else but science. So I need to, touch on all that matters, and then I empower their scientific methods. And when that happened, I get like, a group of students who's, so able that everyone else is, in love with them. So, they could do anything at 15-year-old. So I felt that that's what we should do. We should be able to see a full circle, situation with our students, and not just get them like, Form 1, just one class, and then we move on, and, we lose touch with them. So I felt that, that's another empowerment that you give to yourself also as a teacher, that you're not afraid to ask what you wanted. So I wanted to see this happening. Yeah. But Prof, that's the best idea I get today, that I'll bring the real deal to the classroom. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for the feedback. We have one question from Nina. However, we are going to save that question after our second round. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go to our second round of the forum, which I'm sure all of you are looking forward, to get input from our panelists. What are the challenges in the efforts to bridge the gaps between academic institutions and communities? So to start the second round, I would like to ask Associate Professor Engineer Hayati, Dr. Hayati, from an academician point of view, what are the challenges in producing graduates who can be future-ready communities?
All right,
Hayati?
thank you, Dr. Mahani. We had a good, exciting first round. Okay, so I think the big challenge is, of course, the four-letter word, but starts with T. It's time. Yeah, time. I spoke about the bridge this earlier in the first session, in the first round. Well, time to build the bridge. The time to build the bridge. Yeah. Um, I'm also mentioned about future ready curriculum, how we're going to put that in place in the universities. Now, to develop a future ready curriculum, to develop engagement with community and industries, all consume a lot of time. Yeah? It takes a lot of time to develop a productive working relationship with the community or industry partners. It takes a lot of time to design projects that meet both learning and community or industrial goals. It takes a lot of time to manage the logistics of the projects as they unfold. Yeah, and it takes a lot of time to engage students in special skills training and to reflect on the meaningfulness of projects with students. These are all time consuming. So that is why I would say big challenge is time. Yeah. Another big challenge I would say is, how do you ensure that the project or program have a positive impact on the community and students actually benefit from the learning experience? How do you ensure that? Yeah. And of course, as we had discussed earlier in the first round, I think another big challenge is, how do you sustain? I'm going to borrow the word from Cik Safwan. He uses sustainability, right? So how do you sustain and grow the program or projects? Yeah? Issues of sustained funding. But we've got the solution from Cik Safwan just now, yeah, with the matching grants and, getting industries to help out, yeah. So how, these issues of sustained funding and sustained relationship, how do you maintain and sustain the relationship with the communities, yeah, and industries? These are real challenges. But I believe that if we can overcome these challenges, the experience that the students will gain will be priceless. Yeah, and they will indeed be ready to face any disruptions and will be able to adapt and transform and become future-ready communities. That's my comment on that, Dr. Mahani.
Pam Dr. Hayati, as an academician myself, I totally agree with you. Sometimes you as an academician, you become so enthusiastic, right? You have all these ideas, but somehow you have only one semester, isn't it? 14 weeks. Yes. Okay, to conduct all the activities, to conduct all the programs, to make sure your students make the connection, to make your students engage, and to ensure that you assess them, to ensure that they get all the skills and all the knowledge that you want them. That can be very challenging. And also agree, funding, right? Sometimes, most of the times, you have all these ideas. However, it is difficult to be executed because lack of funding. Okay, now I'm going to pass to Cikgu Yasmin. From your teacher, from a teacher point of view, what are the challenges faced by teachers in producing future-ready communities? Cikgu Yasmin.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. I would like to use another keyword. So I used empowerment earlier, but now I'm going to use another keyword, which is relevancy. So I believe that relevancy is the current challenge faced by teachers, but many of us have not realized it yet. Are we really relevant as teachers? Because I would like to share like a few stories, yeah. Because I'm also known as a storyteller. That's why I became a teacher. I love to talk. Okay, so I have few ex-students who ventured into photography, business. They're just 18 to 21 years old and they're making good four-figure income, like I'm sure that many of us. So I asked them, I said, where do you learn all this? You even speak well. And then they just give me the simplest answer. And I believe that everyone also can say this. They don't have a teacher, they don't go for courses, but they said, YouTube, child. So, yeah, YouTube. And you can see that self-access learning is taking place. So I'm going to ask again: are we still relevant as teachers? In producing future-ready communities, because our students are doing everything they can, through self-access learning. So at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, what do we want from our children? We want them, to have string of A's at the end of the day, because I'm teaching at a lower level. Do I want them, to see them at 21 speaking like professionals? Okay, I'll give you an example of, I think, it's a great conversation of a 21-year-old. I asked my student Umar, I said, what are you doing now? And he said that I'm doing business photography, teacher. I was lost about 2 years ago in venturing into many things. He said, but I finally found my niche area. Okay, you see, he used the word niche. How many of us actually understood what he was saying? But he was just 21. And I felt so, so overwhelmed by the fact that, at the age of 21, he's learning all this. And trust me, he doesn't get them from school. Definitely, no. So I'm not sure how long we can still stay relevant as teachers to our highly independent children. And especially now with the, current pandemic and the students are actually at home. Yeah, we can have online classes, but how many hours is that? It's just a few minutes. So I believe that the current challenge that's faced by the teachers, and maybe many of us have not realized its relevancy. So sooner or later, probably, we'll find us out of jobs. Probably we have to resort to YouTubes also. So I believe that we need to change the way we see things. We need to change the way we empower our students again. Like, what do we want them to learn? What do we want them to do? And conventional teaching cannot take place anymore. So you have to empower yourself now. Okay, you have to empower yourself to actually come up with ideas. You have to read a lot, talk to as many people as possible, professionals basically, and get the ideas, pull the ideas, with a group of friends. So to stay relevant. Okay, on to you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much, Cikgu Yasmin, for sharing the experiences of your students. I totally believe, I totally agree with you, because to stay relevant, I think not just in schools, but also other educational institutions, even universities also. We must not be an institution which just impart knowledge to students, because as you mentioned just now, Cikgu Yasmin, your former students learn things from YouTube, right? So nowadays people can get knowledge and skills from YouTube, or they just Google them. So educational institutions need to be a place where students can get more than just skills and knowledge. So we must
I
use.
believe that we can be like facilitators lah. We're more like we control the content, whatever that's on YouTube. That's our role. So we have to realize that.
So educational institutions need to be a platform where we must use all the advantages that we have for them to promote their social skills, for them to promote all their generic skills. For example, how to communicate with their peers, how to communicate with people who are older than you. For example, your teachers, your lecturers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So Mr. Safwan, so for someone who has lots of experiences in working with people from communities, schools, universities, in your opinion, what are the challenges in the efforts to bridge the gaps between educational institutions and communities? Mr. Safwan?
Yes,
I'm sure Ma'am Hayati and Cikgu Yasmin are eagerly waiting for your answers.
Yes.
So much. The things that I'm going to share is related to what project I'm doing, like in perspective of the local authority. So I believe that the first challenge that we face when we do project with the communities is not easy to gain a trust from the community itself. Because of what I would like to prefer with one of project that we did with the community that stay near to the Sungai Skudai in year 2019. So when we go to them, approach them, it's not easy actually. They are very careful, being so protective. And then after a few kind of engagement with them, we start to realize and we know that actually this happened because there are so many people and agency meet them and offer for help. But then it end up being an empty promises or fake hope for them. So after that, they've been so skeptical. They say that they don't trust anyone to help anymore. So since that, so how we react is in a professional way. So what we did is we clear everything first before engage with the community. So maybe it's related to the previous question. How to clear everything? The first one is in terms of the budgeting. Of course, budget is the main constraint if we need to do a project with the community. In terms of the budget, we bring together a lot of agency, a board, as a team. So we have like in-kind budget for MBFP, like maybe 50% MBFP can support for that project. And then we need another 50%. 20% we try Think City. So Think City willing to help. And another thing, we try apply matching grant from Lucky. During that time, we get grant for green technology application for the development of low carbon cities from SEDA Malaysia. Is the money actually pumped by United Nations development program. So means that we get 100% budget, even each strategic partner not contribute 100%. But then this is the tip and the idea, I think. And then the second one is we clear in terms of the stakeholder. We have government authority, local authority, aboard, easy for us to get a sponsor from industry and all this thing. We have academia. I need to admit that I'm not the one who expert on river pollution and this thing. I need support from the lecturers in UTM, especially we work during that time with Faculty Science, led by Dr. Noor Ain Hussein. So, and then we have industry to pump a budget. We also have community to run it. And even we have volunteer from UTM student itself to help. So the second thing is how to settle the issue regarding to gain the trust from the community is be transparent with them. So be honest with them what actually you can offer and what you cannot offer. So if something, of course, community will demand something that you can offer, just explore and explain to them that we can try to get another thing from another people. So this is continuous project actually. And then next one is what you need from the community, what kind of collaboration, contribution you need by the community. Community must know about that. And then the last one is outcome to achieve. So we did the project, what actually the actual outcome. So this is very important because later on, community will carry on the project further because we don't want it being just like a one-off project. Then after that, bungkus, something like that lah. And then the second challenge that I would like to highlight here is we can get caught up trying to fix a problem before we actually know what it is. So keeping in mind that we are still outsider, we are not familiar with this real situation or context. So we are not living with that community. So we don't really know. So how we do is we must go to the community first and discuss with them and let them lead to identify the issue and problem. Of course, there is so many issue and problem have been raised up by them, but during the process, we do a sorting, put a priority, which one to come up with the development intervention, to setting up the dispute and conflict and all this thing, but then don't make community feel left behind. We need them being a part. This is very important to create a sense of belonging about that project within the community itself. This empower the community also. So this is how to make sure that that project will sustain and continuously grow. Then the third challenge is the last challenge I can share today is in terms of to meet the need of stakeholder and community itself. Not easy, but we must be more creative because I believe when we bring a lot of agency together, they have their own will, they have their own aim and objective. So it's also not easy for us to find the point. And then I would love to refer with one project we did at Block Kenari, Flat Kangkapulai. So actually when we gather a team, our main objective actually to educate and emphasize the community to do the zero waste lifestyle. And then during that time, our main aim focus actually for community to do 3R project, like do recycling and all this thing. But then, and then the second one is another agency asking us to give an awareness about the river pollution. So then we're okay with that. And then, but then when we start engaging with the community, we realize that after 2-3 time engagement, we realized that community not into tree art project because they don't see the benefit to them. So what we did is during the engagement process, we realized that they actually into farming because we can see that near their house, they do the small plot, plant vegetable and other things. So this is the creative things come. So means that we change a little bit our aim. Instead of focusing on the solid waste, why don't we focus on the food and organic waste? So we suggest to the community to do the organic urban farming and also the compost project. Then community was very happy. At the same time also we spread about, okay, we manage our food waste, means that we save the environment. And they say, oh really? I said, yes, you don't throw illegally all the food waste or organic waste to the river. So means that you save the environment, and they've been proud of it. So of course we get some expertise from UTM also. We have Dr. Huza from Faculty of Science also to help me during that session. And then after we kick off the project, the community very love it. We create a special group WhatsApp every weekend till now. Yesterday also, they share what they did, what they harvest, and then after that, what they're going to cook with all the veggie and this thing for lunch and dinner. So I'm very happy about that. And then last month, they won second place for Anugerah Kecerdasan Hijau 2020 has been organized by KPKT. I'm very happy for that one. That's all I can share lah, maybe with the limited time, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was a very good sharing, Mr. Safwan. At least we from the academia, from schools, we really get to know the expectations, right? Sometimes what we plan in the campus, what we plan in schools may not be things that the community want, isn't it? So that's why it is crucial for us to go to the community to really engagement before we can ascertain what kind of projects that we want to do. PM Dr. Hayati, you want to comment on what Mr. Safwan said this
I want to thank Encik Safwan. I want to thank you, Encik Safwan, for giving us all the solutions. I brought out the challenges.
It's like throwing everything out of the bag.
Yeah, so I think this is a great forum. But one thing I learned from Encik Safwan's sharing just now is that you really need to be creative and innovative, to find sources of funding, to sustain relationship. Yeah, I think you need to be creative and innovative, and I think Encik Safwan and his team has done a great job in that. Yeah, maybe just now I gave a suggestion to Cikgu Yasmin. Can I give a suggestion to Encik Safwan?
Yeah, definitely, Prof.
Okay, I'm so happy that you get everybody on board. You know, the local authorities you have behind you, and you have the universities. What about adding on the professional bodies? Yeah, the Institution of Engineers, the Persatuan Arkitek Malaysia, the Institution of Surveyors. If you can get them on board, I think it will, that is just my suggestion. I think it will be
more impactful, I believe.
Are they already on board? The IEM are already on board?
Not yet.
Not yet. I know we were not on board yet.
PM Hayati is checking.
I am checking. That's my suggestion. If you can get the, the institution of the professional bodies association to get on board as well with your project, I think it will be awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much to all the panelists. Without realizing it, we have come to the end of the second round. So now we welcome questions from FB Live and also audience regarding the matters discussed in the forum. You can raise feedback, you can raise questions, even from what we discussed in the first round when we talk about the roles of educational institutions towards producing future-ready communities. Okay, back to Nina's question, Mr. Safwan. May I know what are the graduate attributes that you wish to serve with you in the industry? Okay, what kind of graduates that you want to have from the universities?
I don't have a specific list of criteria for those things. I think it's the main point actually for graduate actually to break the silo. So because we believe that UTM also have those terms means that if you do something, do synergy. Do synergy. So means that if FABU did the project, please don't remain in your FABU. So go expand to faculty science, to another faculty and work it together. So this is what we did. This is what MBIP did. I go to UTM, go approach state government and all those things. So it will be more impactful. So those things I think is the main highlight because when I in the government servant, we facing those problems. Silo mentality, it's still we cannot rid of it. So better for a new graduate, go do a synergy and work collaborate with all your friends from various faculty. That's it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mr. Safwan, because when you collaborate with other faculties or other departments, it's not just the lecturers will have the opportunity to collaborate or to share expertise, but also for the students, right? For the students to get to have to know to get to have more friends, for them to know what other students in other faculties are doing, right? So it expands their network also. Okay, so welcome. Maybe one more question from the audience. Okay, so thank you very much for all the interesting comments, feedback, and questions. However, due to the time constraints, okay, we need to end our forum for today. So lastly, I would like to invite each panelist. Okay, so they say that we need to entertain one more question. Okay, from Kazvini. There will always be learners who struggle with interpersonal skills. Engineering or STEM is often perceived as a purely analytical field. How can these factors be overcome by educators? Okay, Cikgu Yasmin, you're an expert in STEM. So maybe you would like to share your ideas.
Okay, Kasmini is my adik actually. Okay. So not to say it's purely analytical, because I believe that STEM is actually something that you can venture on. So banking on that, like I said earlier, I would stress on the word empowerment back and forth because as much as you need to empower the students with all this knowledge, you also need to empower them with their ability to make mistakes, their ability to try, because without giving them that empowerment, they will not be able to explore STEM or engineering, because engineering is a matter of do, fail, try again, and try again. So you cannot stop. But if you stop, and that's when the students will develop issues, and they will develop like a fear towards engineering, towards STEM. Even the word engineering is too long for them, and they would have this kind of fear towards the word engineering, let alone being in the engineering field themselves. And I also would like to add that not many teachers know actually where to look for contributions from the society, from relevant agencies, because like for me, because my background is from engineering, so I basically worked as an engineer before, then only I became a teacher. So I kind of like know which area to look for, to bring money, basically, because money is so important in doing all your research and work and products. But not many teachers are exposed to this. So I would like to make like a pledge to the society, to Malaysia, like if you have your CSR program, come to school, make more programs with the teachers in school. Don't be afraid, don't think that there are teachers who won't do it. There will be teachers who wants to do it. It's just sometimes they don't realize that. So keep coming to the society, keep coming to the community, keep coming to schools, because community and society starts from school.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Yasmin, for that answer to Kashvini's question. So I think before we end our forum, I would like to invite each panelist to give brief concluding remark on the topic of today's forum today. I'll start with PM Dr. Hayati.
Okay. Right. I truly believe that the Ministry of Higher Education and the universities have put in place numerous mechanisms and initiatives, and these are all clearly described in the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025 for higher education, and with the 10 shifts in producing future-ready graduates. The blueprints very clearly call for frequent and intensive industry and community engagement, collaboration and partnership, just as what Cik Safwan has shared with us. Yeah? And even in the university itself, there are plentiful of resources, adequate infrastructures available. But at the end of the day, it is the lecturers that will need to make the transformation a reality. We need to face this disruption. We are the one who needs to make the transformation a reality. But they need to do it sincerely, not for the sake of doing, but for the love of doing. Yeah, and to transform the road less traveled to a road more frequently traveled. Those are my last words.
Okay, that was lovely, PM Dr. Hayati. Now, Cik Safwan.
Okay, thank you. Since we are almost out of time, this is the final advice that I like to give to the audience and even myself to keep remembering this. Dealing with the community is not easy, but always believe that you can make a difference even if you are on your own. So for students, once you graduate, be ready to develop community in your own way. For me, I can suggest go into the sustainable development things. And our future actually is in your hands. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Safwan, for that impactful message. And last but not least, Cikgu Yasmin.
Okay, so this is to all the educators, teachers, yeah. Okay, we are actually, we are actually like at the bottom part, of the, society hierarchy now, but, we are the most important. We are really the most important because, we are going to carve the future generation. We are going to make, our students, okay, our children, the future ready for universities, for the relevant agencies to actually grab them from you. So start now, start now, empower yourself. You have a 1 month break after this, okay, so take a good rest, empower yourself so much with information and how to deal with your students. We can make a difference because we are teachers, we are the strongest stronghold of the country. We built the country. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much to all the panelists for very impactful and definitely true concluding remark on our topic today. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is undeniable that the relationship between educational institutions, stakeholders, and community is a complicated subject. Okay. However, it is hoped that the ideas shared in this forum will be meaningful in the efforts to bridge the gaps between academic institutions and communities in order to produce future-ready Malaysian communities. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I end the forum, I would like to invite all of you to join the closing ceremony of NALI 2020 at 3:30 p.m. So, during the closing ceremony, we will announce the NALI Awards recipients and the results of NALI exhibitions and symposium. So, I hope all of you will attend the closing ceremony session at 3:30 today. Okay, so last but not least, my greatest appreciation again to the panelists, PM Dr. Hayati, Cikgu Yasmin and Cik Safwan for your thoughtful, critical and valuable insights on the topic of today's forum. So have a good day everyone. Assalamualaikum and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't forget to tune in to our NALI 2020 closing ceremony live at our Facebook page of NALI 2020 on the 10th of December at 3:30 p.m. as we will announce the Gold STEMmate Award, People's Choice Award, Gold Medal for NALI 2020 exhibition and competition, as well as the top 3 finalists and the winner of NALI 2020 Award. Now, we will all see you there, and do enjoy our exhibition, symposium, keynote, plenary and workshop videos till then, available at our NALI 2020 Facebook page.
Welcome to NALI 2020.
NALI 2020.
NALI 2020.
NALI 2020. Cenggini.
NALI 2020. NALI 2020.